I know you're going to want the whole story, but I can't give you that. You know more of it than I do, so you'll have to fill in the blanks yourself. No, I don't want to hear your side of it. I don't want to understand the depths of your betrayal. I don't think I'd be able to forgive you if I learned more about why we met. I don't care if I deserve the truth. More than that, I think I deserve to be happy. And you make me happy. So let me have this domestic life with you, oblivious to the big picture. All right, I'll tell you my side of it. All I ask in return is for you to stay with me, love. I woke up in an abandoned temple in a place you called Moonset. I didn't know how I'd gotten there or where exactly it was, but I knew I was far from Aesop, far from the only place I had ever called home. You were there, but I couldn't see you. You kept yourself out of sight. You hid in the shadows and spoke sweet words to me. You told me that I was beautiful and that you loved me, and you were so charming, so sweet, so perfect. Except that you wouldn't show yourself to me. You know, at first, I thought you might have been a monstrous beast. Why else would you keep yourself hidden? I don't think you understood that I loved you enough that it wouldn't have mattered. You still don't understand that, do you? That's why you're asking me what I've been up to on my journey to find you again, up until, you know. For a while, I didn't mind not getting to see you. You convinced me that I was your entire world. You told me that you didn't mean to love me, but you slipped up and couldn't help it. And you couldn't stop loving me. And I didn't really understand, but I believed you. I still believe you. Even if you can't trust me, you love me, don't you? I don't know exactly how long it was before I got frustrated with your distance. It was hard to keep track of time. But I started wondering, if you loved me, why couldn't you trust me with your truth? Why did you leave me yearning while you were within reach? The questions were like a persistent itch, one that I could only keep myself from scratching for so long before I gave in to temptation. You remember the night I went looking for you, don't you? It was the same night you left me, love. You'd promised me night after night that you wouldn't be far off, so I lit a candle and searched the temple for you. It didn't take long to find the room where you slept. I stopped, listening to your quiet breathing, making sure you were really asleep, and then I crept closer. My light fell upon you, and I saw. You were lying down on your stomach, arms crossed under your head like a pillow. A pair of beautiful white wings were folded on your back. But it was your naked body that really took me aback. I was expecting a monster. You were not a monster. You were the most beautiful person I'd ever seen before. So perfect and serene in your sleep that I just stood and stared for a while. I wanted to wake you. I wanted to sneak back to my room and pretend I'd never seen you. I wanted to run away. I didn't do any of that. I just kept staring at you. You were angelic, divinely beautiful, and I couldn't tear my eyes away. But then A drop of wax fell from the candle, landing on your back and waking you up. You weren't supposed to see this, you told me. Not your exact words, but close enough. I had a million questions, but the look of betrayal in your eyes silenced me. As if you hadn't betrayed me first. As if forgiveness could only be demanded by those with power. Love, I kept no secrets. I couldn't have, even if I wanted to. You seemed to know everything about me. But you kept so much from me. And I knew it. I'd be fine with it if you'd at least pretend we were equals. But that's not the point right now. You wanted my side of the story, so I'll give that to you. Just please stop looking at me like I'm a stranger. Right, you brought me back to Aesop after that. Back to the place where I no longer felt at home. I didn't know who you were or how to find you again, but I had an idea of who to ask. That's where the story gets complicated. I met with a priestess of the Morning Star Temple. I don't really know anything about her, except that she told me she knew how I could redeem myself in your eyes. I'm not particularly devout, mind you, but when the priestess of a love goddess tells you how to get your lover back, you listen. She told me that I had to go through a few trials to prove that my love for you was pure and true. First, I had to withstand pain. I was beaten and whipped for a few hours. You left me with nothing. Home isn't home without you, love. I was lonely and desperate and maybe a little bit stupid, but I needed you back. I can't live without you, love. The pain she dealt onto me was nothing compared to the torture of watching you leave. The second trial was to decrypt a cipher. I couldn't have done it alone, obviously. I mean, I'm not a genius. Luckily, I found someone who knows a thing or two about that. A cryptographer named Antigone Rex. Her father was famous for solving the Sphinxian cipher, and although he hadn't passed on his knowledge, she's a true genius. She had a strange sense of humor, probably born of her messed up circumstances. She used to be royalty, but she asked me to call her aunt instead of princess. A little weird, but I didn't argue. We worked together on the cipher I was given, but she reached dead end after dead end, and it occurred to me that maybe the cipher was designed with cryptographers in mind. What would stump a gifted cryptographer except something without a translation? I brought it back to the priestess unsolved, and I explained that it was gibberish. No one could have made anything of it. The priestess gave me a tight-lipped smile. She seemed almost frustrated that I figured it out, but I disregarded that thought. I don't have the context, and I don't want it. Whatever issue she had with me, I don't need to know it, okay? She's not worth worrying about now. Her issues are her problem. I've been through hell, love. Literal hell. The next few tasks were just as ridiculous as that one. Collect wool from carnivorous sheep. Fill a vial of dark water from a deadly river. Capture a dead queen's beauty. Who cares about the details now that it's over? Why do you need to hear about my death, love? You came and got me. You saved me. My love for you is proven. What do you mean I didn't have to prove it? You left me without explanation. You left me because I didn't trust you enough, right? You don't have to explain it, love. I just wish you'd give me the same courtesy. fine. If that's the last thing you need to let go of your doubts, I can tell you how I died. What I understand of it, at least. I went down into a place called the Bonesung Mausoleum, and a dead woman was waiting there for me. I don't know how to explain it. She was just a corpse, laid out in an open casket. Her eyes were closed, and her body was covered in plants growing through the decay. And yet, she was beautiful. Beside the coffin, there was a pile of papers and a few pieces of charcoal. And I understood my instructions to capture a dead queen's beauty. I had to sketch her. But as I spent time on it, I got lightheaded. There was something in the air, something dangerous. I never finished the sketch. You know the rest better than I do. I assume you followed me down there, or someone told you where I'd gone, or whatever. You took my body away, and then, not long ago, I woke up. You brought me back from death. I don't know how, but I know why. You still love me. I can see it in your eyes. I love you. I'm sorry you lost your trust in me, but I don't regret any of it. Not now that I have you back. Trust starts with doubt. Or at least it does for me. I don't need answers anymore. I just need to know that you'll stay with me. Can you promise me that, love? Yeah. Forever is long enough for me if it's long enough for you.
Hi, Ginger Neutral here. Thanks for listening to my audio.